For all you mad bastards loving the Big Show podcast, get up even closer on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, or raw dog it 4 to 7 every weekday on Radio Hauraki.
G'day, fellas.
G'day, Jace.
How you going?
I'm actually tired.
Yeah.
Couldn't sleep last night because whenever I have something on in the morning, this morning I had to go and film the social video thing, which involved me talking to strangers a lot and going up and approaching people.
Vox Pops.
Vox
I
Pops.
fucking hate those.
It was a positive Vox Pop because I was giving away free tickets to a concert, but it's still just the go out, approach people, immediately try and convince them you aren't selling them or getting them to sign up to anything, and then just go, look, all I want to do is give you some free tickets, you just have to come in this video. And it was great, but when I have something like that I have to do that's outside of the ordinary, night before, can't sleep.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I do
Yeah.
the same thing when I have work stuff on in the morning.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're right. And so I'll have a melatonin gummy, which is like 5 milligrams or something. I'll have that, and that helps me get to sleep. Wake up the next day, you feel hungover and like a piece of shit.
Groggy.
Which is how I feel today. But I had a sleep at least.
Have you guys thought about hardening the fuck up?
Jace.
You can't
Jace.
fucking talk, Jace.
I mean, geez, talk about overthinking things.
What do you mean?
I mean, come on, fellas. Just go and, have a few beersies, go to bed, get up and do the job in the morning and get on with it.
I want to do a good job, Jace, man. And because
You
I'm a
can
prepper.
do a good job.
I'm a prepper, so my brain is prepping stuff
Prepper.
because I want to walk. You have to stop making that joke.
Sorry, as you were.
Finish it. No, finish
No,
it.
that's okay.
I hardly know her.
Say it, pug son.
Hardly.
Say
no.
it.
I don't like showing up to stuff without having prepped stuff. Some people are just like, oh, I've got an interview to do on the radio, whatever. Cool, I'll just show up and wing it. So actually, if you think of a couple of things, it'll be a lot better. But then because of that, my brain at night is just like full-blown cranking along.
Do you think also it had something to do with the fact that you nearly died after getting injections yesterday?
I thought
And it was like a shock response?
I thought that would have made me a lot sleepier because I almost died. You could see a great photo that Pugsan posted on the Hauraki Big Show's Instagram.
Courtesy of Keizie's wife.
I cannot believe that literally she had the biggest grin the whole time. The nurse was laughing. Opened the door. I asked her to go and get me a drink from the fountain, right? She opens the door. Outside is someone, a young woman with a baby, very young baby. She's sitting there with a big grin on her face. Obviously, she can hear what's going on because they're all laughing and making fun of the fact that I'm dizzy. And the lady looks at me with a big shit-eating grin as well, and I'm just like, oh, and my wife just goes, oh, I'm taking a photo so that Pugsan can post it if he wants to. I say, are you serious?
Do you think your sleep being bad might have had something to do with the 7,000 pieces of chocolate you ate during the show yesterday?
I had 5. No, that's a lie. I had 6.
You had
Yeah.
more than that, but also I think
Don't just move on after saying that.
I think getting back to your wife and all that stuff, as reported by yourself,
Yeah.
you were being such a he-man beforehand.
I was being.
Yeah.
She even said, "Man, you're stoic." While I was getting the first injection.
And it's like, all right, darling, let me show you how it's done. And so I totally get her going, oh, this is too good.
But I wasn't being.
This is too good.
I wasn't being a stud or anything.
Excuse me, can I lie down? I feel a bit woozy.
That's not how I said it. I said, "Oh shit, I better lie down." Actually,
I feel a bit woozy.
Do you mind if I lie down on the gurney?
I feel a bit woozy.
What?
Gurney.
Honestly, I wasn't being super studly the first one because she
Studly?
had just been doing it like this. People listening can't hear, but she's got her eyes closed, like wincing, like looking away. And then when I did my first one, I just sat there and relaxed and was like, "Oh, if I don't think about it, it'll be sweet." Because it's just a little. It feels like a little. They always say a little scratch, and it does. Barely hurts. But for some reason, the thought of the needle going in and then fluid going into my body made me get all lightheaded.
The Hauraki Big Show, weekdays from 4 on Radio Hauraki. The Hauraki Big Show podcast.
I remember actually, because I'm not a big fan of needles either, and when I got stabbed, and
with
the knife,
sword, the knife, yeah.
at school playing Dungeons and Dragons, I remember being on the operating table, and the anaesthetist was there, and they were going to do the anaesthetizing, and I said, "It's not going to happen, fella." And they went, "Well, you can't have the operation while you're awake." And I said, "Let's just try," because I was that scared.
Bullshit. What are you? So hang on. So you were scared of the
Speaking
needle,
of shit-eating grins.
but you're happy to have this massive operation without cutting you open in front of you.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's,
I mean, I couldn't see it because they put a sheet up.
that's stoic.
And ironically, what ended up happening is they used a needle on me anyway to stitch up my bowel.
Really?
Yeah.
So did they put you under with a mask or?
No, they didn't put me under at all. I was
Right.
wide awake throughout the whole
right,
thing.
yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make, I'm not trying to make myself out to be a hero here.
Yeah. Because that's so heroic, just voluntarily feeling heaps of pain.
That's so cool,
That's
man.
cool.
The point I was trying to make was that my fear of needles was so great. I said, "This ain't happening, fellas.
Yeah, right.
I remember
Stitch me out and let's just get this done. Put me on the gurney and take me back to the ward."
going through my maths class window in high school.
You went through it. How'd you go through
I
it?
went through it. I was play fighting over a tennis ball with a friend.
And you, okay.
And I went through
Head
the
first?
No,
Ass
shoulders
first.
first.
Shoulders first. Wow,
Shoulders
okay.
first. And the teacher was like, "Oh, check yourself for any cuts or anything, and then go to the nurse or whatever." And then I put my hand up my jersey and stuck my finger in my arm because it was like a gash
Wow.
in my arm. And then when I got to the hospital, they had to stitch it back up.
Yeah.
But first they had to clean it out. And
What, your gash?
If you don't, yeah.
They had to clean your gash.
The one that you had your finger in.
Yeah. So I had sort of accidentally fingered my
You'd
Right.
fingered your own
my
gash.
gash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they stitched it up.
Can you get to the
But-
point at some point, Pugs?
Come on, Pugs,
But
baby.
first they had to clean it out, and so they put a prick in my gash.
They checked you, really, did they?
They genuinely did.
Yeah, well, they do. They numb it. They put a needle in there and they numb the
Yeah,
area.
and also flush it out.
Yeah.
Flush.
Oh,
it.
Because
right.
they wanted to do that when I initially arrived at the hospital.
Jace.
Because literally my intestines were hanging out of my stomach. And they said, we've got to numb the area so we can deal with it. And I said, just do what you got to do.
Fuck, you're so the man.
Get the needle away from me. And so they sort of stuffed me intestines back in there and gave it a bit of a squirt.
Did you bite down on like a wooden thing to
Nah.
like on Master and Commander?
Well,
Wow.
look, I'm not proud of the fact that I effed and jeffed a bit.
Oh, just a wee bit though.
But you do what you do.
Question: you're going to Vietnam.
Yeah.
You going to go get some shots before you go?
Do I need to?
Yeah.
What?
Well, it depends what they recommend. So it might be like hepatitis A and stuff like that. But there will be a couple of shots that you should get before you go. Will you do that?
Yeah, totally, man.
He's
I'm
not
not, you know,
gonna do it.
I
He's not
mean,
gonna do
the
it.
That sniff
Yeah, no,
afterwards.
he's
That's
not.
fucking
that
young.
the reality is, if I get hep A, I get hep A.
Jace. But you know how you get hep A? As I told you yesterday, it's from human fecal matter making contact with your food.
Yeah. Well, that could happen. I had malaria, and it was funny because
Sorry, you've had malaria.
I had malaria.
Yeah.
And I was meant to get a malaria shot because you can get those.
Yeah, real easy.
Real easy. And it wasn't that I couldn't be asked. I just forgot. And malaria was, I was a bit sweaty. But, you get through it. And now my immunity to malaria is amazing.
Yeah, but it would have been amazing. How long did you have malaria for?
Oh, look, I think it was about a month.
And what were your symptoms?
Sweating, just a horrendous fever.
Yeah.
Aching joints, searing pain.
Did your eyes hurt?
It was a long time ago, Keyzie. It's hard to remember.
Right. Did you have a runny nose?
As I say, it's very hard to remember, Keyzie.
You can't remember having malaria?
No, I remember having malaria, just not exactly what went on.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because we were watching a thing because we're going to Cambodia and we're watching this video of this couple in Cambodia. And my wife is like...
My wife.
When we go there, she wants us to have all the shots. She wants us to drink bottled water only. Like, she's very safe.
Anal. Yes.
And anal about stuff like that. And then we're watching this great couple. They're touring around. They went to one of the places we're going and they both caught dengue fever.
Yeah.
What the hell's dengue fever?
Have you never heard of dengue fever?
Dengue.
Dengue, yes.
Yeah,
Not
dengue
dengue.
fever. I
Dengue.
think,
You often get it in India.
yeah, right. It's from mosquitoes. And they were sleeping in a hut over a river.
Yeah.
And they were just eaten alive by these mozzies, and they were out of action for a week with dengue fever. And then, of course, that my wife is then like, shit, we need to get like,
Yeah.
you know, for dengue fever, we need to be
Your
protected.
wife's got to stop watching this shit, man.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was just this lovely travel vlog of like, you should totally come here, blah, 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 blah. We got dengue fever. It wiped us out for a week. It was terrible. But then it was great. So,
Yeah.
just keep an eye out for that. Although, Pugs, I think you might have dungy fever.
Or dongy fever.
What does
Dongy.
dungy mean?
Do you not know what a dungy is? Did you ever get called a dungy, Jace?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
never in my life. Never heard
Nobody's
of it.
ever called me
Genuinely.
that.
A dungy.
Yes, never heard
Have
of
you
it.
heard of dungy?
I've heard the term.
It's like you're an idiot. Oh, you dungy.
Oh, that's not very nice.
No, I know. It's
Chris?
just a little jab, man. In jest.
Jeez, that's a bit full on, Keyzie,
Yeah.
the old pug son. I mean,
Kind of,
Pugs.
it's kind of mean if I'm
I'm
honest.
so
Like,
sorry
I'm
for-
sorry
I'm
about
here,
that,
I'm-
Pugs. That
I'm-
was unnecessary.
You know I'm doing two jobs at the moment, man, and,
Yeah,
and you're calling me a
absolutely,
dungy for it.
Pugs.
You know what I mean?
Half-assing 2 jobs instead of 1.
You're goddamn
Oh,
right.
I'm just
right.
joking.
Look at
I'm
that.
just,
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
joking, all right? Pugs, I'm sorry for saying you have dungy
You know
fever.
what? Don't listen to the big show.
No, don't.
4 to 7 weekdays.
See if I care.
And don't follow the Instagram
Nah.
at Hauraki Big Show. Love, love, love.